The morning light spilled into Zainab's tiny kitchen like a promise. Tomatoes glistened in the bowl, peppers hissed in the oil, and the scent of smoky jollof rose thick and proud. It was her first day delivering food, just 4 orders, but her heart beat like it was war. She had planned everything, handwritten labels, borrowed cooler, WhatsApp status blast. Her friends had promised to repost. Still, as the messages rolled in, add plantain, I beg, make it peppery, panic set in. She couldn't track who paid, who hadn't, or which delivery man was going where. By noon, her phone buzzed like it had caught fire. Zainab was wiping sweat when a quiet voice behind her said, "You need a system." She turned to find Chidi, a shy classmate, standing in the doorway with his backpack slung over one shoulder. "I can help," he added, lifting his laptop slightly. She hesitated, suspicious but desperate. "Okay," she said finally, "but if you mess up my jollof, I'll haunt you." He smiled, small, steady, confident, and that was how it began. Over chaos, rice, and a quiet boy who understood order better than anyone she'd ever met. What began as Chidi making a spreadsheet turned into a nightly ritual. He'd sit on her counter, laptop open while she stirred the pot, explaining recipes like spells. She'd talk about expansion, he'd talk about automation. Somewhere between code and smoke, laughter grew, warm and unguarded. It was methodical, gentle, and infuriatingly calm when she panicked. She teased him about his nod face. He teased her about her jollof ego. One evening, the power went out mid-sentence. Candles flickered and rain drummed softly on the window. "You ever think this could be big?" she asked quietly. "Bigger than us?" He looked at her across the soft gold light. "Everything starts small, Z." Even stars, the words lodged in her chest. When their fingers brushed while passing his laptop, she didn't pull away. The air smelled of pepper and possibility. That night, she realized that his faith in her dream made her braver, and that somewhere between recipes and routines, something else was beginning to simmer. Success came faster than her sleep. Orders flooded in, and so did problems. One delivery was late. Another customer complained her rice no sweet. Zainab's confidence cracked like thin glass. "Maybe I'm not ready for this," she muttered, collapsing on the kitchen floor. Chidi crouched beside her, eyes soft. "Even the best cooks burn a pot sometimes," he said. Then he rolled up his sleeves and got to work, categorizing customer feedback, streamlining delivery routes, adding color-coded tabs. Together they fixed the chaos. She adjusted spices, he adjusted code. They built something that felt alive, Jollof by Z. When the first order through his app pinged successfully, Zainab screamed with joy. She hugged him without thinking, flour dusting his shirt. For a heartbeat he froze, then hugged her back. In that silence, filled only with the hum of a cooling stove, the line between business and something deeper began to blur. Months passed. Their little operation turned into a kitchen hub, then a food truck, and finally a small quick service restaurant in Ruse. Reporters came. Investors called. "Z," Chidi said one night, watching the glowing signboard outside, "you've done it." She turned to him, her smile radiant but trembling. "We've done it." Yet the bigger they grew, the more she feared losing him to his ambitions. He had been offered a scholarship abroad. The thought of him leaving made her chest ache. "You should go," she said one evening, voice small. He looked at her, really looked, and shook his head. "You're my project, Zainab. The most important one I've ever built." Tears threatened, but she laughed instead. "Then finish what you started," she whispered. And he did, staying beside her as they opened 3 new outlets, building dreams in code and spice. The night of the grand opening was a blur of lights, music, and laughter. The aroma of jollof wafted into the Abuja sky, mingling with city sounds and celebration. Zainab stood on the small stage, thanking customers, friends, and fate itself. But when her eyes found Chidi, standing by the counter, watching her with quiet pride. The rest of the room faded. Later, when the crowd thinned, she found him outside, sitting on the curb, a plate of her rice in his hands. So, he said softly, "What's next for Jollof by Z?" She sat beside him, their shoulders brushing. Maybe Lagos, maybe London. But only if you're there to build the app. He smiled, always. They ate in silence, the night air thick with smoke and laughter from inside. And as the stars blinked over Abuja, Zainab realized that the real recipe for our success wasn't just spice or code. It was love that believed quietly, built patiently, and tasted like home.